Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jennifer and today I'm going to be reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong. Kong and his protectors undertake a perilous journey to find his true home. Along for the ride is Gia, an orphaned girl who has a unique and powerful bond with the mighty beast. However, they soon find themselves in the path of an enraged Godzilla as he cuts a swath of destruction across the globe. The initial confrontation between the two titans, instigated by unseen forces, is only the beginning of the mystery that lies deep within the core of the planet. I just want to say that this review will not contain any spoilers, so all of you guys are free to watch the review. And before I begin talking about what I thought about the movie, let me know what you guys thought about the movie down below. If you haven't seen it, it's available on HBO Max and it's out in theaters. And this is definitely a movie that you guys want to see, especially in the theaters if it's safe to do so in your area. I'm so happy that box office numbers are coming back, and with Godzilla vs. Kong, I believe it's grossed over 11.6 million in just 3 days, and I think that's just awesome. And I'm so happy that people are watching the movie and that it's starting to become a bit safer with the vaccines for people to go to the movie theaters and stuff. And talking about that, this is definitely a movie to watch in IMAX because oh my gosh, was it that good. Like, problems aside, which I'll get to, it's an epic movie, especially the action sequences. Like, my entire theater just shook. Like, this sound system was so awesome. I do have HBO Max and I've been wanting to rewatch it ever since I saw it at the theater, and I don't even know if it'll be the same experience because it was such a nice experience at the theater. I feel like this is one of those movies that I had to have seen at the movie theater, and I'm very happy that I got to do so. That sound was just so awesome, and the movie just looked gorgeous, and especially on that big screen. Like, this movie is beautiful. It looks awesome. The CGI is so amazing that it really makes me wonder how they did this, because there are so many action sequences in here with the monsters, which is totally what I wanted, and it looks awesome. Like, it literally looks out of this world, and especially towards the third act, which I won't spoil, but that fight scene was so good, and I really wonder how they did this because it looks fantastic and it looks so real. And I also really liked how they gave character to these monsters because I've never seen them be like this, especially Kong. I think with the visual effects, they were able to give him facial expressions and like you could tell what emotion he was feeling. And even with Godzilla, there were certain points where I could tell what face he was making, and I thought that was just awesome because it makes it that much more realistic. I think it's really important to me, especially as a fan of the MonsterVerse, that they gave them characteristics, especially to Kong. I love seeing the facial expressions and I could tell what he was feeling, and I thought that was awesome. Also, just to keep talking about some technical aspects, the score was fantastic. Also, the soundtrack was really great. It really fit into the vibe. It gave me like nostalgia 80s vibes. I really liked that. And I also really loved the places that the movie took us in. I was really surprised at some places that it ended up taking us because we got to learn more about these monsters, and I think that was awesome. And I definitely think that it could set up more movies in the MonsterVerse. Let me know what you guys think if you've seen the movie, and let me know if you guys would want the MonsterVerse to continue. I definitely would love it to continue. I think with certain things that they talked about in the movie, I could see them taking it somewhere else, which I would be a huge fan of. Now, in these movies, I feel like the human characters are just lacking character, honestly. I don't really care about them. I feel like most of the characters were just there, and they did add to the storyline, which is obviously important. I don't think they were useless. Well, I could think of a couple that I feel like are really useless. Eiza González's character, she was pretty useless. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But I do think they kept the story going. However, I feel like the characters themselves, like, I didn't really care for them. I was just there to see the monsters, and I feel like we all were there to see the monsters. And the good thing about all of this is that this movie definitely favored the monsters over the humans, because I feel like in some of the MonsterVerse movies, there's definitely less monsters, more human interaction, and at least for me, that's not why I go see one of these movies. I go to see these movies to see these giant CGI monsters fight, and I gotta tell you, the movie delivered in that aspect because the humans were there for sure, but they weren't the main part of it. And while some of them were annoying, and there were some characters that just, I feel like, didn't add anything, the movie succeeded in knowing what it was trying to give its audience, which was the monsters. How was the monster fights, you might wonder? They were pretty epic. I loved them so much. From the first one to the very last one, all of them were fantastic, and I got so pumped. Like, I wanted to get up from my seat and just cheer. The fight scenes were so good, and this movie is so fun and silly, and it's just, it literally knew what it was trying to do. And I think that's the most important part, when a movie knows what type of movie it's trying to be and what the audience wants, and this movie definitely nailed it in those aspects. Something that I really liked as well was the relationship between the little girl Gia and Kong. That was so cute. cute, and I really liked, like I said before, how much character they gave to Kong. I was in the middle between Team Kong and Godzilla because I've always liked Kong more, but I feel like Godzilla has like a bunch of stuff that make him stronger. But I'm definitely Team Kong, especially after this movie. He's a king. King Kong. He's awesome. I will say, however, that the movie sometimes suffers in giving balance to its storylines because this is a versus movie, so there's one side and then there's another side, obviously, and I feel like it suffers at finding that balance where it could have a little bit of this story, a little bit of that story, and the story combined. You could definitely tell what side the movie favored. And my sister, she made a funny joke and she said this movie is a blank movie featuring blank. I don't want to say what monster the movie favors because I don't want to like spoilers in this video. I want to keep it as vague as possible for the people that haven't seen the movie, and it didn't take away from my viewing experience because I still had a blast watching it. After the movie ended, I was like, this certain side was honestly not needed that much, and that goes to saying that the characters were useless in one side in my opinion, and I didn't really care for them as much as I did in the other side. That's just, I think, the biggest negative of this movie, just that balance that wasn't there. And I think also there was way more of one monster than the other because there is some monster action here for sure, but I think they could have done a better job at giving it balance. Also, I think this is one of the shortest movies in the Monsterverse. The time flew by like this. I was in the movie theater and then it ended and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's it? It went by super fast, which like isn't a negative. I actually really like when movies go by fast because I feel like it gave me everything I needed and like it finished quick. It didn't feel like a bore at all. The action never stopped. And honestly, there were moments in the movie that I found very intense, especially with the action sequences where I was like, oh my god, what is gonna happen here? This is going so crazy. And I think that's the best part about these movies, just these intense action sequences. I just really had a blast with this movie. Other than a few negatives and a few nitpicks, this movie was just everything that I wanted it to be. I wanted to see Godzilla and Kong fight, and that's exactly what I got. And I think if you as an audience member want that and nothing else, then I think you're gonna be pretty fine with this movie. I'm gonna give Godzilla vs. Kong a B. Let me know what you guys thought about Godzilla vs. Kong down below in the comment section. I would love to hear all about it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for weekly movie content and turn on the post notification bell because I'm going to be posting my Monsterverse ranking this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so that you're one of the first to watch the video. I'm really excited to get that video out for you guys and to hear your ranking, and make sure to follow me on all my socials. I'm Jennifer V Movies on Instagram and Twitter, and Jennifer Vega on Letterboxd, and I also have a second channel where I post some miscellaneous content that doesn't belong on this channel. And yeah, thank you guys so much again for all of your support. I love you all so much and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye guys!